I am out in the rain right now, and I gotta believe it's gonna be worth it. I have convinced my husband to go to a local patisserie. There's a French patisserie near me. They do really great cakes. I want to get myself a nice breakfasty treat. I actually did this Christmas Eve last year, and it was so good. And actually, I don't go there very often. That was the last time I went there. But I remember that they also had some really amazing Christmassy cakes and treats. And I feel like I need to see if they have them again, because if they do, I must be sampling them this year. So I ended up getting myself an almond croissant for now because I really do love them. And I had to get myself a little Santa. It's got strawberry mousse with a jam center and it looks so beautiful. I think it's going to be delicious to have later with a cup of tea. Well, hello there. I realized I don't think I greeted you this morning when I was out on my way to the patisserie. It is the 23rd of December, 23rd day of Vlogmas. Christmas is almost here. I have had a nice morning already. I really enjoyed my almond croissant. I have had a bath, I've done some yoga, feeling good and supple and relaxed. I do want to do some baking today, but before I get to that, I want to open my advent calendars. We will start with Fabric Godmother today. 23rd is up here. There's just one left after today. I really enjoyed these advent calendars. They have really brought me a lot of joy over this Christmas period. So my sewing tip of the day is no sojo, reorganize your stash or tidy your sewing space to inspire you. I think that's a really nice tip. I mean, I will say people do talk about losing their sojo or their mojo for sewing and how they get it back and all that. And I feel like I don't really worry so much. If I don't have the time or the interest in sewing, I just do something else. And because I do other creative things, I feel like when I'm working on a different creative project, I will then start to feel interested and excited to do some sewing. So I just kind of let it go with the flow. But I do think looking at what you've got and thinking about what you've got can be a really good inspiration. Let us see what we have got. This is really sweet and actually getting me very emotional. Okay. So today it is a Samaritan's charity donation. So today they're going to donate a proportion of the calendar sales to the Samaritans, and there's a QR code on the back to scan and learn more about the charity. So the Samaritans in the UK are there as support for people who are struggling with low moods, specifically depression, suicidal depression, having suicidal thoughts. And the Fabric Godmother did share something on their Instagram this morning that they are donating 25% of all of their money they're making today, all their sales from today, to the Samaritans. That sadly somebody in their team, within the Fabric Godmother team, has actually personally suffered with losing somebody to suicide this year, which is really devastating and really, really sad. We know that there are people over this time of year that are not going to be feeling happy and jolly, and I appreciate that they are doing that, and I hope they've made a good amount of money from these calendars to be able to give a good portion of that to the charity, because I think it's really important. And I mean, I can't imagine being on the other end of the phone taking those phone calls, so absolute huge thank you and love to the people who do support those who really need it when they really need it. Whew, bit of a low one, but you know what? I think it's still really important. Okay, try to change my spirits. I feel really very emotional about that one. Okay, Kusmi tea calendar now. It's okay to feel sad, guys, and it's okay to feel sad about things that are genuinely really sad. It's just a strange thing for my video. Okay, 23rd of December. Okay, this one is called Boost. Flavored blend of mate, green tea, and spices. Well, this sounds very much a good one for the lead up to Christmas. It seems like a very good festive one, so I think I will enjoy that one a little bit later on. As far as my plans for now, I think I'm going to spend just a little bit of time chilling out with my husband before I have some lunch. After lunch, though, I'm going to be getting on with my Christmas baking. So I've taken my gingerbread cookies out of the freezer last night, so they're ready to get iced today. And I'm wearing the perfect socks for the occasion. I hope you can see. Oh, they're upside down. I'm panning you down so that you can get a good view of my gingerbread socks. Too perfect, right? I had to put my gingerbread socks on today. I just had to do it. So I'm going to be icing my gingerbread cookies, but I also want to make some butter spritz cookies. I made butter spritz cookies last Christmas on Christmas Eve, and I shared it on my Vlogmas last year. They were such a hit. They were really popular, and honestly, I absolutely love them. My husband absolutely loved them, particularly the ones that were dipped in white chocolate, sandwiched together with white chocolate. So I'm going to be making some of those this year, and I think I'm going to make a double batch because I think those ones were the one that got completely demolished. Everything did get eaten in general, but those ones were just like cleared out. So I'm going to work on some of those today. If I don't get around to actually melting the chocolate and icing them and things, I can always do that tomorrow. But if I can at least get the cookies going, and then while they're cooling, I can start working on icing the gingerbread cookies. I have to say, this is not my everyday lifestyle to be eating all these kinds of sweet treats. There's just so much special stuff that's around this time of year that's not around other times of year. And I think it definitely is the season of indulgence for many of us. So as much as I am going to enjoy all these delightful treats, I think I'm going to really enjoy having less of them after the Christmas season. But hey, we're here now and I'm going to make the most of it. For lunch, I'm going to make myself these. I got these in Sainsbury's in like the international import section. There was a day when I was in there where I saw a woman just buying tons of these. She must have bought about a dozen. And I felt like, well, there must have been something about these noodles, right? I got them, and honestly, we have been absolutely doing the same thing. We go in and we buy like 4 or 5 at a time to have a stock of them. Nissin sesame noodles apparently are quite the thing. Alright, it is butter spritz cookie time. When I was at the supermarket, I realized that I didn't remember what ingredients I needed for these cookies, and I had to check what the recipe was, and I went back to my Vlogmas video from last Christmas Eve to check which recipe I used, because I definitely wanted to use the same one because it was so good. So thank you, Past Teresa, for putting the link down in the description box. I will obviously put this one down in case you guys want to make these cookies as well. I highly recommend them, honestly. I'm definitely doing a double batch. I was debating with my husband whether that's too much because there's so many cookies, but he agreed. They're a hit. We both love them, so I'm gonna make plenty. Using my cookie press. I used this for the first time last Christmas and it worked exceptionally well and was a ton of fun to use. You have different shapes that you can get, and so I've had a look through at my options, and I think what I'm going to do, I want to go for one of this one because I feel like those are kind of nice to dunk halfway up. And then I think I also want this star shape. So both of them will be sandwiched together with another biscuit. So there'll be 2 with chocolate in between. And then those can get dunked in for a little bit of extra chocolate on top. have finished those Spritz cookies. I am not going to actually sandwich them together until tomorrow because I realized if I make the gingerbread cookies, that icing needs to stay until it dries, and I don't have enough space for everything to just be drying. So I'm going to leave the butter Spritz till tomorrow. I do get to have a little break in between though, and I'm going to enjoy having my cake that I got from the patisserie this morning. So it turns out that that's clearly some chocolate cake. It's chocolate mousse with it looks like a fresh strawberry filling, and then it's got a strawberry glaze. Yum. All right, it is time to make the royal icing for the gingerbread cookies. I use a recipe from the same book that I got the gingerbread cookie recipe from. I will try and find a link down below. It's a very simple royal icing recipe. I tend to go with using egg whites. So you can use egg white powder, egg whites, or royal icing mix. But we used to be worried about like salmonella with raw eggs until I realized that A, salmonella you get from the yolk, not from the whites. And B, most of the eggs in the UK, the chickens have been vaccinated against salmonella. And if that's the case, they've got like a red lion stamp on them, and all of mine do. So I know it's not a risk. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that up. I'm then gonna divide up all of my colors and get going. Well, I am calling that one productive day. I am very happy with my butter Spritz cookies. Obviously, I'll finish those up tomorrow, but they're looking really good. And the gingerbread cookies turned out so cute. I feel like I do really enjoy doing some kind of sugar cookie decorating, and each time I want to figure out how I'm gonna simplify whatever it is, especially in the case of these ones because they're pretty small. So you can't have that much detail or it's just gonna be too crowded. But I think it worked out well because there's some gingerbread cookies that have less icing and some that have more, depending on what your preference is as far as eating sugary cookies. I wanted to give an update as well as far as my sock, my tiny tree sock. So I've been working on this and trying to put the needle back into the stitches to try and do the heel, the afterthought heel. This yarn, because I chose the alpaca yarn, it is so awkward to try and see the stitches. I mean, I don't know, you might be able to see. Some of them are easy to spot, some of them are really difficult to spot to be able to pick up the right stitches. I also know that using darker yarn makes it harder to see what's going on. And I basically need to spend some time with a super bright light shown on this, because I tried to do this multiple times, quite a few times, and realized at some point I've definitely missed one of the stitches there. And I didn't want the whole thing to fall to pieces, so I decided to just pull it out and try again. But I haven't managed to get both of these in the way I'm supposed to be able to get these stitches on that I can then trim off the yarn. In all honesty, I'm slightly worried that it's all going to fall to pieces, because I'm not convinced that I'm going to be able to get all the stitches the way I'm supposed to, but I'm crossing my fingers that I'm going to manage to do it. But this is definitely going to be my last one of the season, so I'm going to see if I can get it done tomorrow, and if not, totally happy to work on it on Christmas. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could even make another tiny tree sock on Christmas. I'm going to think about that. But this one I think will be a fun one to get finished. It's just this bit is definitely the trickiest bit on this sock in particular. I'm gonna be now watching a movie with my husband. We were talking about watching something Christmassy, full-on Christmassy, because it is the 22nd, 23rd. I don't even know what day it is. Definitely the 23rd, because tomorrow's Christmas Eve. My brain's just gone like, whoo. But yeah, so we have decided to watch Home Alone 2, because I think we watched Home Alone last year or the year before. I mean, I've seen it many times, as many of us have. It's such a fun, classic family Christmas movie, but Home Alone 2, neither of us have seen since way back when it first came out. So we're going to be checking that one out. I'm sure we'll have some laughs, some good slapstick stuff going on, and it will be Christmassy one way or another. I'll be checking in with you guys again tomorrow to finish up all the final bits that I need to finish before Christmas comes. I hope you've all been having a fun time and getting ready for Christmas yourselves. I'll see you in the morning. Bye!